I drank protein shakes for 8 years, 2 scoops every single day, until Consumer Reports tested my exact brand and found lead levels 3 times higher than what's considered safe. Today I'm showing you the kidney study that made me quit, and the $46 billion industry secret they don't want you to know. Look, I'm not here to bash protein powder. I loved it. Convenient, tasty, helped me build muscle. But here's what nobody told me. In January 2025, Consumer Reports tested 23 of the most popular protein powders on the market. The result? 2/3 of them, that's 15 out of 23, exceeded 0.5 micrograms of lead per serving, the maximum safe level for adults. And that's just lead. The Clean Label Project tested 160 protein powders and found that 47% exceeded California's safety limits for heavy metals. We're talking cadmium, arsenic, mercury. But here's where it gets worse. These heavy metals don't just pass through your body, they accumulate, specifically in your kidneys. Today, I'm breaking down 3 studies that explain exactly what protein powder does to your kidneys, why your doctor probably hasn't warned you, and what I'm doing instead. First, let's talk about what's actually in your protein powder. The 2024-2025 Clean Label Project report, I'll link it below, tested 160 protein powders. Here's what they found. 47% exceeded California Proposition 65 limits for at least one heavy metal. 21% were more than twice as high as the maximum safe levels. And here's the kicker. Organic protein powders were worse. They contained twice as much cadmium and 3 times as much lead as non-organic powders. Why? Because these heavy metals come from the soil. Organic farms don't use synthetic pesticides, so plants absorb more heavy metals naturally. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but it's a small amount, right? Here's the problem. I was drinking 2 scoops per day. That's 730 servings per year. For 8 years, that's nearly 6,000 servings. And according to the National Center for Health Research, heavy metals cause permanent damage, specifically kidney and brain damage. A 2024 systematic review published in Applied Physiology, Nutrition, and Metabolism analyzed 11 studies on whey protein. Their conclusion? Quote, chronic and without professional guidance use of whey protein supplementation may cause some adverse effects, especially on kidney and liver function. I was that guy. Chronic use, no professional guidance, just Instagram ads and gym bro advice. So how exactly does high protein intake damage your kidneys? The mechanism is called glomerular hyperfiltration. Let me break it down. Your kidneys filter your blood through tiny structures called glomeruli. When you consume high amounts of protein, especially from supplements, your kidneys have to work harder to filter out the nitrogen waste products. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Nutrition analyzed thousands of patients over 11 years. They found that for every 10 grams of protein increase per day, kidney function declined by 1.69 points on the eGFR scale. That might not sound like much, but here's the thing. I was consuming 50 to 60 grams of protein from powder alone. That's on top of my regular diet. The research calls this intraglomerular hypertension, basically high blood pressure inside your kidneys. Over time, this leads to glomerular injury and proteinuria, which is protein in your urine, a sign your kidneys are leaking. Now, here's where it gets controversial. A 2013 study called the OmniHeart trial found that in healthy adults, high-protein diets didn't cause kidney damage. So which is it? Does protein hurt your kidneys or not? The answer is nuanced. If you already have any kidney impairment, even mild undiagnosed impairment, high protein accelerates the damage. But most people don't know they have kidney problems until it's too late. I didn't. Until I got my blood work done at age 32 and my creatinine levels were elevated. Here's when I knew something was wrong. Year 8 of drinking protein shakes. I'm 32, working out 5 days a week, feeling great. Then I get my annual physical. My doctor calls me. Your creatinine is at 1.4. That's elevated. Have you been taking any supplements? I told him about the protein powder. 2 scoops every day for 8 years. He said, "Stop immediately. We need to retest in 30 days." I did some research. Normal creatinine levels are 0.7 to 1.3. Mine was 1.4, not kidney failure, but definitely not normal. So I stopped. Cold turkey. No more protein powder. 30 days later, I retested. My creatinine dropped to 1.1. Still not perfect, but improving. That's when I dove into the research. And here's what I found. A 2025 study in the Journal of Internal Medicine stated, excessive protein intake may lead to the accumulation of nitrogenous waste products, thereby burdening renal function. Translation? Your kidneys can only handle so much, and protein powder pushes them past their limit. But here's what really got me. The protein powder industry is worth $46.2 billion globally as of 2024, and it's projected to hit $59.9 billion by 2035. Think about that. That's a lot of financial incentive to keep you buying. So what did I do instead? First, I switched to whole food protein sources: Greek yogurt, eggs, chicken, fish. Yes, it's less convenient. But here's the thing. Whole foods don't come with lead contamination. Second, I calculated my actual protein needs. The average adult needs 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. I'm 80 kilograms, so I need about 64 grams per day. If you're lifting weights, that goes up to 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram. For me, that's 176 grams max. I was consuming over 200 grams per day. My kidneys were drowning in protein. Third, I got a water filter. This might sound random, but heavy metals also come from tap water. A reverse osmosis filter removes 95% of them. And fourth, this is crucial. I got my kidney function tested. It's a simple blood test called a Comprehensive Metabolic Panel, CMP. It measures creatinine, BUN, and eGFR. If you've been using protein powder for years, get this test. Most people with early kidney damage have no symptoms. Within 6 months of quitting protein powder, my creatinine dropped to 0.9, normal range. My doctor said my kidneys had likely been in hyperfiltration mode for years, and finally got a break. Here's the truth. Nobody in the fitness industry wants to say out loud, you probably don't need protein powder. You've been sold a solution to a problem you don't have. The average American already consumes 100 grams of protein per day from food. Adding 50 more grams from powder isn't making you stronger, it's making your kidneys work overtime. And worse, you're paying $30 to $60 per tub for the privilege of contaminating your body with heavy metals. So here's what I want you to do. 1. Check your protein powder brand on the Clean Label Project website. If it's on the high contamination list, throw it out. 2. Calculate your actual protein needs. Don't guess. Do the math. 3. Get your kidney function tested. Ask your doctor for a CMP. It costs $30 to $50 without insurance. And 4. Remember this. The supplement industry is not regulated by the FDA. They can put almost anything in those tubs and call it protein. Your kidneys are not replaceable. Your muscles are. I'll link all the studies I mentioned in the description below. And if this saved you from years of kidney damage, drop a comment. I read every single one. Thanks for watching. And remember, real food beats powder every time.